Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be here. Do we have entrepreneurs in the house? Startups? Less than a year? Less than 2 years? 3 years? Okay. All right, I'm so glad to have all of you, and I might seem a little bit tense, but I'll normalize. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 9. My first business was unofficially making coconut candies. So I had this relative that came to stay with us, and she taught me how to make coconut candy. So at the time, my mother was a trader. Sorry. At the time, my mother was a trader, and she sold like Zobo and all those things that needed like a sewing machine. So for me, I had a neighbor that just newly wedded a northern bride, and she liked my coconut candies, and she started making me make them for her custom order. And I realized that if I got like 100 naira for, sorry, this was in 2000, this was year 2000 when I was 9. So if I got like 100 naira from her, and I got coconut for like 15 naira, sugar for 10 naira, I would make the coconut and still make like 40 naira profits. I was happy. So I decided to do something more, something different, being cliche. And my mom was a nurse in Kubwa, where we lived, and I started sealing my coconuts, sealing it and packaging it. I didn't have any logo then or anything, but I was packaging them and giving to her. And she would take them to her workplace and say, oh, this is from your friend, because I was friends with all her colleagues because I'm the last born, and I was spending most of my time there after school. And she's like, this is from your friend, and then all the nurses would buy out, like I was always selling out and making money. I started doing that from the need to be financially independent, because I was the last born, I'm the last born. But I hated the fact that I always had to ask my parents for money to do the little things that I wanted to do, like buying stuff in school during break for my friends as well, and just balling generally. So I started making that money, and at the same time, my uncle came back into the country and got me a camera. He got me an analog camera. So that was like my first introduction into photography. So the camera wasn't like the digital ones we have now that you can take like 1,000 images and keep taking. That one was analog, and you had to put a film, 36 pictures, not more. If you take the picture where there's no light, nothing's going to show. You can't edit to bring back, you're not shooting raw, there's nothing like that. So, we had a family photographer there, and I always used to take it to him, the negatives to develop. A year later, I went to boarding school, and my sister, she has OCD. She was cleaning, and I think she threw away my camera, but we moved. In secondary school, I only joined one club, business club, still for the love of money, making money, not just money, that's not mine. Yeah, so eventually I became the president of the club before leaving, but I still needed financial independence. I got admission into the university. I tried to do one business, but my dad made me understand that he sent me to school. He can still take care of me very well, and I should just focus and read. So I studied banking and finance, graduated in 2011, and I reached out to a friend of mine during NYSC that I needed to make extra money. I did not have any family obligation. I just wanted to have money and wanted to work for it. So she told me, okay, she sells jewelry in Lagos and she needed someone to help her in Abuja. I jumped on it. At the same time, I was 7. I started working for a furniture company then, Hadar Sutua, and my boss was importing furniture then. 2 months after I joined the company, I became the purchase manager because the then purchase manager was leaving. Then I had to start traveling now to buy furniture, and one of the stores we shopped at was IKEA. So IKEA, for me, shopping there as a purchase manager, I had to, at the spot, calculate the cost of what I was buying for, calculate an estimated cost of what it would cost to ship to Nigeria and how much we would have to sell and how much we'll make on each product before buying it at the spot. So in the process, I was also assessing each product and looking at the simplicity in most of them and how they could be easily made here in Nigeria by our local artisans. I did not improve on that idea till after maybe 4 years. I did not even think I had a great idea. I just thought, oh, this could be made. Like, why are we? Because furniture was contraband then. Like, why are we going through all the stress for something that could be made here? And we're still going to be buying it at maybe 4 times the amount people in those countries were buying them at. So after like 2 years of working with my boss, I quit to go into photography. So from the first year I started working there, I knew photography was what I wanted to do. So I started working towards it. I started saving my salary and allowances from when I travel to buy a camera, which was way more expensive than I assumed or thought. I got the camera while I was still working there, and I started practicing on my own, self-taught. So I started begging my colleagues, who were my friends, to please come down at their free time for me to take pictures of them. After a while, they started begging me to please come down and take pictures of them. After a while, I started charging them for me to go down and take pictures of them. So, I mean, that was when I realized that I was solving a problem. I was adding value to them, and they should pay for it. And so they did, gladly, because, I mean, it was worth it. So after I quit, I went fully into photography. I reached out to a couple of photographers in Abuja, George Okoro, Big H, a couple of them. I told them, that was then, and I told them I was interested. George replied me, and gladly I jumped on shooting with him for a while. But I mean, in the meantime, I was still working on my own. I had my own brand, Vantage Photography. I had my own company to grow, and I was building my own clientele as well. Now, George had more experience, and I was not scared or shy to reach out to him because he had more experience, not just in taking good pictures, but in the business of photography as well, experience with customers, and many more that you probably won't believe happens in photography that actually does. Now, 2 years after I became a full photographer, I remembered that while I was working at the furniture company, because I was getting my first studio, and I needed to make like 1 or 2 furniture pieces for it. And I remember that I had the idea of making some of these things that I saw in the IKEA store. And now that I even had more knowledge about furniture after working there, so I mean, that's another point I would like to make. Like, on your part, like, there's no knowledge that is a waste. You would not know when you would that particular information or knowledge, even in your personal daily activity, not just related to business or work. So after that, when I was furnishing my studio, I made some of the pieces, and then I asked a few friends of mine that I believed were like me in both financial standards, the need for aesthetically pleasing furniture pieces, and value, appreciation. So I asked them, okay, this ladder that I made, how much can you buy it for? And they told me, and I was like, okay, I can buy it for that amount as well, but it cost me less than half of that to make it. So what if, that's when I had the idea, what if I started making like these little things that people would not believe could be made in Nigeria and selling them? I did not have any blueprint. I didn't have any guideline as to owning a furniture company at then, but I started developing on the idea from that moment. Fast forward to 2018, a photography client of mine booked me for a job in Moscow, Russia. She sells furniture. I take pictures for her. But she knew I was interested in making furniture. And she was going for like a conference for interior designers in Russia, and I went with her. So on that trip, I was exposed to a whole new level of making furniture and fittings and household accessories. And that experience was gotten from me being a photographer. I didn't go there based on the merit of a very good furniture maker. I went there as a photographer. But you can see how I used that opportunity to improve myself as a carpenter or furniture maker as well. So now, I'm just going to hit some few points as a roundup. And the first would be, you shouldn't, it's a popular saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Also, there's a popular saying, jack of all trades, master of none. But I would say, life is too short for you to keep trying one thing and it's not working out for you. I'm not saying photography didn't work for me, but I didn't see myself being a billionaire from photography, because photography is a profession that needs constant involvement. And I still want to have many companies and not have to put my all in just one of them. And that's what the case was with photography, because people related my face to my brand. So it became hard for me to even send someone else when I have an event. I had to go myself, because Vantage, it's you. But for furniture, for carpentry, I have artisans working for me, and I can work for 10 people, 100 people in a month at the same time, servicing them separately, because I'm able to delegate work responsibilities to other people to form a proper structure. Whereas for photography, I couldn't be in more than one place at the same time. So what I want you new entrepreneurs to get from this point is, one, at the age of 9, I used the resources. I could have started tying my coconut candy in normal moi bags and selling, but I made use of what was there. It's not like anybody told me, this will look nice, but being able to see from, how do I put it, maybe how you would want your product to be packaged for you to buy. That's how you should do for others. And if you know that the people you're trying to reach would appreciate your products more if they're well branded or well packaged, then go for it. So don't always brand, use what you have around you. Then number 2, make sure what you're giving, what you're selling, or whatever services you're providing is actually adding value and also solving a problem, because that is the fastest way people can get to pay you for your services or your products. And number 3, don't feel like, oh, I've been doing this thing and I've not even succeeded in it. Now you want me to go and start another one. Also, don't give up easily, because for a full business to be profitable, usually it takes at least 2 years. So you can't start something and after a year you're like, oh, I'm not making money, it's not working. No, because it's possible your breakthrough is just right around the corner. Preach. Okay. So number 3, don't procrastinate. Now is a good time to start, because the period you're waiting to get either the right sign to start, or the right amount of money to start, or the right investor, or the right person to say, that period you're waiting, maybe 5 or 10 other people are starting that same thing, because ideas are not just formed in your head. Ideas are most likely formed from things you hear, things you watch, things you know. And those things are not just limited to just you. Other people are listening to those things and probably getting those ideas as well. And if you start now, you might have a monopoly in that field. Thank you very much.